Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. This is Dutch 020, and as you can see guys, there is an announcement in center screen. We are now collaborating with Preco F1, and like I already said in my previous videos, he's making a lot of content. He's making a lot of strategies and a lot of it boosts, and all props to him. And please go visit and subscribe please to his channel. And with my channel, of course, we're gonna fully on focus with all the Grand Prix racing, boosting during the Grand Prix, and finishing your opponents.
And it's lights out and away we go!
And therefore, guys, we are now entering our Wednesday qualifying races. And we have a fresh week coming up, and as you can see, my first place medal is still beautiful center screen. Nice picture for this moment, and let's hope we can still finish for another medal later on for the last few of the Grand Prix still left. And of course, guys, if I'm not mistaken, we have 8 or 9 left after this one. Probably the second week of May, we will have our fresh Grand Prix season. Here we go guys, for our first race we have Red Shark from Rejects Racing over here, and I hope for him it's a bot because there is a massive difference in the team score. And here we go with Bahrain into the desert race. And of course guys, next week this will be the first actual Formula 1 Grand Prix race, and I am so excited. Finally, Formula 1 back onto the screen, and I can't wait. Until then, you have to do with me. So here we go guys, the first race on Bahrain, and here we go with the beautiful P1 and P2 qualification. Vettel doing humongously. It's insane guys, no words even. The stats are out of the roof because I think even overtaking is now 86 on Vettel. I think this is the first time we crossed the 80% mark of what the drivers can do, so it's insane. Henceforth guys, our opponent is very much outside the top 10, as we can see, at 10 and 15, and also a bot, as now we can also see. But even if it was a real opponent, the bots that we have selected on our drivers will do for now. I'm already actually saving up for next season. I'm trying to make a hell of a start because man, the groups I get into every year, they are tough as nails. And I need to make a better start and keep those flags low. Of course, don't know what Hutch will be doing with the flag situation, but I'll keep Discord, of course, a close eye on it, and let's hope we're gonna make the good choices. And of course, I will show all my choices on YouTube, and at the beginning of next season I will make a lot more content, and that also regarding CC store, opening races, how to maintain your first flags. I'm gonna take you through my opening, and therefore of course hope you guys with that. For now, again, like I said, if you want real strategies and track layouts, please go visit Preco F1, and he will show you all the tracks and races. And henceforth, with me again, we're gonna drive the Grand Prix races, and of course we're gonna use different strategies, different setups that you would normally use with a Golden Grand Slam race or any other kind of series race. And therefore we're going back to the race guys, because the Hero 2 boost that I used, it's not a very common boost, but acceleration is very good on that boost. And also on the Vice and on the Firework you have the acceleration, and you do notice the difference between you and the other drivers. On Vettel we have the Pretzel boost. Vettel statistics, like I said, they are insane, so there is no bot that can catch us, so there's not even a boost that's required on him for this moment. But again, I'm not taking any chances. I want that full 188 after this video. But the Pretzel boost is very nice, but as you can see, also a little bit of acceleration modifier over there, but it's the pit stop, of course, that is doing the best job to it. And as you can see, the pit stop from Vettel was now 2.68, and normally he would do 3.24 at this track, so that is that's a very significant difference. And here we go guys, the race is already practically done. I'm just here enjoying, of course, my time with you, and of course already talking a little bit about next season. We just had the new update of Miami and Jeddah, and therefore again guys, if you want the specifics on those tracks, please go to Preco F1 Racing. He will show you everything that you need, and with me of course next week you can also see it in the Grand Prix races and how I would amplify my own tactics on those tracks, and I will take you through it step by step. Like you see at this race, we already talked about Bahrain plenty of times, and therefore guys, we are just taking the intro for this weekend races. Next week the videos will will be much more specific because therefore, again, like I said, we have Miami and Jeddah now entering the Grand Prix. A little bit surprised even. It was taking such a long time. I thought Miami and Jeddah or Las Vegas or whatever was going to all go up to next season. So it was a pleasant surprise that we saw it for now. So therefore, again, I'm very, very excited for next week. But enough about next week, guys, because we need to fully on focus for this week. Because, well, for me, of course, I already have the P1 medal, but a lot of you guys still need to get that. So, therefore, the specifics for this race, if you are in front of the field, the Jin boost, the Vice boost, and the Kuwai, those are my favorite boosts around here. The Vice boost is my best boost at Bahrain, gives me the best lap time as well. But the Kuwai gives you great corner work. So, when you're holding down on green, the Kuwai is doing a lot better than the Vice. Henceforth, of course, the grip modifier on the Kuwai. On your second driver, of course, I would use one of the other three. The downforce, of course, is also available. But again, if you have the Kuwai or the Vice or the Jin boost, I would use one of those three on both of your drivers. If you're going midfield, so let's say P7, P12, P13, I think you can more consider it than to the downforce and the towers boost. The downforce boost is, of course, great for corner work and also gives you very nice tire management. And with the towers behind him, you can easily help back and also try to push. If your front driver with the downforce is making his way through the field, you can try to follow with the towers boost, because of course you have a one-time modifier for your corner work, but the most important part for the towers is the fuel and of course the 5-time tire modifier. Therefore, guys, first race now finished for us. Like we already thought, this was a very easy race, but also for us, no mistakes made. And I think that's my biggest flaw in my last YouTube videos, and I'm not cutting them out. I'm not showing you not the mistakes, and I'm of course admitting them to full, because like I said, this is also a learning video. Learn from my mistakes, because concentration is everything. And while I'm talking, even while I'm doing it, I'm so focused on the talking or on my accent and try to keep everything good that I forget to race, or to forget to do my pit stop, of course. So therefore, guys, when you're doing your races, take your time, lock you up in your room, I don't know, keep your focus. If you're a great multitasker, I envy you. Alright, guys.
And it's lights out and away we go!
Race number 2, and as we can see, man, our drivers were so quick. The intro of the second race failed on us, and the honest explanation was that I forgot to check again the record button. I had a bite to eat after race 1. So here I am, fully fueled on for race number 2. We are now at Singapore under dry circumstances. And again on Vettel, we're going to use the pretzel boosts. We're going to fly him away. And on Verstappen, we're going to use the tulip boost. Both boosts are great for pit timing. And the tulip, of course, even better than the pretzel, because on the tulip boost, you don't even, you just don't have the 3-time multiplier on your pit stop. You also have a 3-time multiplier on your reliability. So that's great, of course. So therefore, you can push easily with those two and have a very nice, quick pit stop. Both of our drivers now driving away. I'm not even focusing what's happening behind me at this moment. If you are in front of the field, don't focus behind you, just fly away. The mistakes I made last week, I am learning, guys. Last week I made a few times the error of going slow and pacing with my opponent and so much paying attention on what he was doing that I was actually falling into smaller traps, especially on Imola. And I got caught a few times, and man, did I rewatch my own video on my phone, scroll back many times, man, VLC overjumped. I trying to learn, man, and of course sometimes I say I'm a great driver, I know what I'm doing, but when I really look at those videos, man, keep learning. Staying humble at that fact as well keeps you good and sober. That P1 was of course beautiful, but the fact that I don't get consistent medals of course says enough. So therefore, guys, we are both, all of us now, with the guys watching and ladies of course, we are driving through perfection together. After the third lap, both of my drivers will make their pit stop. We will go onto the medium tire because we fully pushed for the first 3 laps of the race. So we really used a lot of fuel, and on both of the boosts, of course, there is no fuel modifier. So henceforth, we're going to go for the medium tire because the medium tire will easily do 4 laps, especially when you're not pushing all 4 of them. And of course, again, we will not. Our opponent is, like we already said, a butt opponent, so let's not too much focus on him, and let's talk about the boosts for the race. If you're, of course, also facing a real opponent or some tough butts and you're not starting into the front. So let's start with my fellow front drivers. If you're starting into the front and you're facing a real opponent, I think fuel here is key. As you can see, tire management is great at this track. I think the towers, all those kinds of boosts are not very significant over here. I think if you're starting the field, I think the old boost would really do you good. The Samba sometimes I also really love because it gives you a lot of fuel, but I think the best boost that I use here is still the Kauai, the tune-in, or also again the Jin. Like you see, guys, especially in the part where Verstappen was just driving, there is some tight, tough corner work. And of course, with the tight, tough corner work, you want the Kauai or the Jin. Those boosts are just great. I think a lot of the tracks for this week will give me the Jin boost and the Kauai. And therefore, again, also, as you can see, the prizes of this week is also, of course, the Jin boost, and that's not for a reason. A lot of these tracks do real good, so I'm also saving those boosts for later on, and also, again, already a little bit for next year. As you can see on my bucks amount, yes guys, I am a spender. I did some spending last season. I did not at the beginning of the season, but I did get many flags that kind of ruined my mid-season. But I learned, I adapt, and therefore I'll also make some normal separate videos how to end the season with your CC score and how to open it with your fresh scored CC points. And of course, again, a lot of you guys are new, some of you are maybe already past for a few seasons, but I can already say this will be my 5th season, and still a lot of new things are still being learned. So it's a big game. It's very wide. A lot of people still also sometimes complaining on Discord about the amount of money and the free-to-play and everything like that. Well, let me say, first of all, you know what you're getting into. All of these games at this moment are premium, you know, and I think it's our own choice if you want to do it, yes or no. And I know a lot of these guys that have not spent any dime on this game, and they're still doing pretty good. I think Patience is doing them very well. I know a guy, I won't mention his name because I don't know if he likes that, but it's now his 4th season. He does not spend €1 at this game, and for 3 seasons he had terrible whatever, but he saved all his boosts, he saved all his bucks. In the beginning of this season, he invested everything that he had on all the pre-bucks that he saved. He used his boost and everything that he learned to drive, and I can tell you he's getting straight first place medals. He's doing real good, and that's a guy that learned and adapted to this game. So therefore, again, guys, free to play is possible if you're doing it correctly. But of course, and that's a spoiler on that part, you'll have to grind, and you cannot have a social life, because I can say that guy has over 13 or 14,000 races, and I already say that I neglect my girlfriend sometimes by the amount that I play this game, and I only have 5,000 races into this game. So he has 3 times as much, which is a hell of a lot. Again, guys, I already said to the boost for the guys in the front, but also if you're center field, also the Jin boost will do you good, and the Kauai, because overtaking at the part where you see now my Verstappen and Vettel at the back of the field, the Kauai and the Jin boost will do you so good. So even if you're starting at P11, P12 or whatever, you will go good and you will go forward. Okay, guys, concludes race number 2.
Lights out and away we go!
Last week I had a very tough, as you saw, I had a lot of good real opponents. It was also very nice because, of course, the way I got the first place medal, well, in my group, you need easy matchmaking. Let that be very clear. So I'm not taking it for granted or taking it with shame. I'm taking it with full-on pride. But yes, it was easy matchmaking, I have to be honest. And past week, as you can see, I had a final medal and it was again very tough. I finished at P20 or something on the Sunday. I had 373. So when you're missing 3 points in my group, trust me, you're outside the top 20 for sure. I even believed I finished at 29 at the end of the event. So let's hope the matchmaking would do us a little bit better for this week, or of course hope that our opponents have some worse matchmaking. If they also would drop some points, then of course the matchmaking can be as intensive as it was for my channel. I would even like that. I would even love it if my 8 races would be against 8 opponents with the same team score. But of course, every opponent should have the same. And if I have to name one flaw of this game, guys, because I really love this game. If I have to name one flaw, it's the decision making on the matchmaking process. That is unfair as shit. I'm not gonna bleep that because you need to hear that. That is unfair as shit. Like again, I am not complaining when I'm meeting like I said, a good opponent, because I am also, of course, max score with good boosts and good strategies. I'm talking about the poor bastards that, sorry for my words, for the poor guys or poor everybody that is out there that has a team score of like, let's say like 16 or 1650, and they are then meeting me. I also had it last week. He had 1658. I had 1783. That is an unreal match. And of course, Hutch says we're keeping that under the 10% mark, but I also said that in my previous video that 10% is not a doable figure, because if like the team scores are both 100 or 110, that 10%, yeah, then it's low. But again, guys, my team score is 1831, so 10% of that is almost 183. So the team score difference in that is too big. So therefore, again, I hope they're going to make some changes for that for next season. On the rest, of course, I love this game and I play with a lot of joy, and I think it gets better by every update. And therefore, again, I have a lot of well, let's say confidence for next season, that for the last few things that we are missing in this game, it will get fixed. For now, guys, we're getting back to the race. As you see, I used both of my good boosts because this is the first bot that I am now meeting that has a good team score. And as you can see, his Vettel, yeah, that's a pushy bastard. He's going good. He has no boost and he's easily keeping up with my Norris. Of course, I started at P4, but with the curse boost, you should easily go by your opponents at Suzuka. And therefore a good pit stop back to P5, but I maintained the position before my opponent, before both of my opponents, of course, to be correct. P1 Vettel on the tune-in boost doing well. He's of course now away on the hard compound, and now as you can see, and he also thereby made his final pit stop. Norris, we used a soft tire because we know we had to overtake some opponents, and as you see here, he has a lot of trouble there by overtaking Leclerc, and that's again weird, guys. We are in a soft tire on the curse boost. What is happening here? Norris again is my wet driver. We had a good qualifying for that. The race, of course, dry. But therefore, guys, we overtake now our opponents by the pit stop maneuver, but that's ridiculous. It really was weird what I just saw there. So you don't want Norris under dry circumstances. Therefore, guys, also the Hex boost, it's a wonderful boost, but I'm getting my doubts on Suzuka with the Hex boost under dry circumstances. I think I will change it to the out boost, but I don't have that much though, so that's why I am not particularly a fan of using it. I only have 15 left, so I have to wait until the next Grand Prix event arises with the out boost as a reward. And there we go, guys. Norris now made his final pit stop at P3. We only have to take over. We have to take over Vettel at P2. But as we all see now, he is at the medium tire, so he's sitting duck. We are now at the late part of the race on fresh tires, so which means also that overtaking now gets easier. So So therefore, guys, rainy or dry, I usually went for the tune-in boost and on the hex, but if you have the out boost, please use it. The downforce boost is also wonderful if you're in front of Suzuka, but also if you're in midfield, the downforce is a very nice boost. The tune-in boost, as you see, is beautiful because of the corner work, but also a very good pit stop time. The Vice boost is also a boost I really like, but of course the number one boost that everybody practically uses over here is the Kauai. And also, they're my luck, man. I have thousands of boosts. Sometimes when you see me selected, you see it for yourself. I think I have approximately about 40,000 boosts, if I'm not mistaken. But the Kauai is also one that I don't have much of, so I'm really trying to save it. Because, of course, Japan Grand Prix will be the first ability to buy it. If you're a little bit back in the field here, guys, also the Kauai would do you good if you don't push too much, but I think the towers or the downforce boost would do you a hell of a lot better. But again, for all other specifics, you can go to Prekoev 1 and he can detail you for everything you need to know. Remember, guys, race 3 still flawless. We did good. Waiting for me to push the forward button over here.
And it's lights out and away we go!
Alright guys, race number 4 and the final race of the video. And of course again they're also the last race of the qualifying races. And we are still driving flawlessly, 141. And as you can see, guys, we adjusted the team score because the final race is Austria. And even though the Wednesday time does not matter, because at Saturday and Sunday the points, the times, everything gets divided. I just like to be on top. It's nice for the view. And until 2 weeks ago, that almost never happened at the weekend. So therefore, it's also nice to be at P1 Wednesday to go in full focus until you're driving for Saturday. We have a dry qualification, and normally I thought that this would do you good for your lap time, but I heard from closed circuits that the sunny conditions, or nonetheless dry conditions, have no regard to one another. So the temperature of the track does not matter. It's only matter if it's dry, yes or no. And for dry circumstances, of course, we will use the firework boost on our first driver, which will be Vettel with his astronomical statistics at the moment of time. And on our second driver, we go with our dead fast. And let's see what our opponent has done. He's back at the field. Well, guys, if this will be the matchmaking of this weekend, I think we can go again for a P1. But as you can all see in my videos, Wednesday is the talking and collaboration video for the weekend, because my opponents are never that tough. I usually have a very easy Wednesday, and in the weekend I am meeting my real opponents. As you all know, guys, we will use the firework boost and the dead fast boost on our drivers. Also, when you're at P2, P3, P4, P5, you name it. Starting at P10, then I would reconsider to go on a different boost. Maybe then as well the dead fast boost on my first driver, but on the second driver I will use the downforce or the towers boost. Try to keep up with your first driver who is making his way through the field. But I think if I started at P10 and P12, something like that, I think I would really go for the downforce and the towers boost. It gives you great corner work. You can go with the medium or even the hard tire, because you can also push, because the tire management is great on both of them boosts. We went full force with Vettel. Let's hope he did a quick lap time. We are hoping for a 19.998. A 20.031 would also do, but the normal quick lap time you would do with this setup would be 20.064. That is the minimum quick time you can do, and above that, like I said the other just now, are the different fast times you can put. You can even do a 19.965. Credit to Black Sales Mob. you can all say whatever you want about those guys, but they are driving one hell of a time. So I just checked out the scores. Even 2 or 3 of them did the 19.965. Man, that's incredible. So man, if we can get that one day, that would be great. My teammate Max did that once. He didn't know how he did it, but he was lightning fast. My teammate Max usually get those crazy lap times, and we are still aiming for his first P1 medal. He's also in a very tough group, very talented guy, Max. This is his first season, so also just like me, he went very high in his flags, but this is his first season, and hell, I can say he's my level or even better, so all props if you're listening, Max. Back to the video, guys. An easy P1 and P2 finish. As we can see, we are now preparing for this weekend, and also all for you guys, Austria is something you can forget, because like the past few weeks already, Interlagos will be the fast track of this weekend, and therefore we will use the same setup, the same boost, the same conditions, everything will be the same, because for all those fast tracks we will use the Whirlpool and the Claw. You can do whatever you like, guys. Some guys use the Vice boost, some guys use a different setup. I can surely guarantee you that even though I did not push for the 19.965 yet, this is the setup with the boost. If there is something else and someone is laughing now behind his computer, well, sir, you're a bona fide genius and you got me here. But at this moment, I can boldly say that I think I'm right, and the firework with the Claw and the Whirlpool is the boost and the setup to go with. We are now entering the final stage of the race, guys. Our bot opponent is on cruise control at the moment, and the 188 is in for us. This weekend, well, like I said, guys, YouTube is for fun. YouTube is not to make bucks or whatsoever. So I do, of course, have a real job, and this weekend is a tough weekend for me. So I don't think, again, like the past 2 weeks, that 2 videos is possible. I will, of course, make one that will be of the Saturday or the Sunday races. I will post that on Sunday, let's say 12 till 15 time UK, somewhere in that range. The video will be posted, and I hope it will do you good, but I can already say that my upcoming video will not be posted at Saturday. The thing you can do, guys, if there is someone listening at this moment of time and he's like, but I need my strategies, I need my view of you before I go, well, first of all, I'm flattered, thank you. But of course you can DM me, you can send me a message on my YouTube channel, you can send me a message at Discord, you can ask me what your setup is, you can tell me what your team score is, and I will give you the best strategy outlet that I can give you. Alright, guys, here we go. A beautiful Wednesday, the one that I like. It's a 188, beautiful in the pocket. Therefore, go, guys, give it of course a go to my mate, to Preco F1. Give him also subscribe and a like to his channel. And everybody who still needs some advice, please give me a holler and I will help you. And of course, guys, I wish you all the best. And for everybody who still needs to race, stay in the race and keep up with the pace.